Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of Air Commodore B.J. Philip, Commandant, Air Force Technical College, I, Scholar Prabjot, extend a very warm welcome to our guests of honor, the Gallantry Award-winning War Veterans of Indian Air Force, Air Commodore K.C. Kuruvilla, Veer Chakra, Wing Commander J.S. Gehlawat, Veer Chakra, Wing Commander A. Raghunath, Veer Chakra, and Wing Commander M.R. Shirazi, Shaurya Chakra, Vayu Sena Medal, and their families. Gallantry awards are conferred for the most conspicuous acts of valor and sacrifice against any adversary under the most challenging operational circumstances. For any soldier, there is no greater challenge than to outperform the enemy, and no bigger sacrifice is known to mankind than to lay down one's life in defense of the motherland. As our country celebrates Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav to commemorate the 75th anniversary of our independence, it is only fitting to not only pay tribute to freedom fighters and their struggles, but also honor this rare breed of patriots who have made great sacrifices to ensure freedom and maintain territorial integrity of our nation. After attaining independence, our country has been witness to countless examples of valor and selfless sacrifices for the nation by our brave soldiers. Our armed forces have set an excellent example of selflessness and fortitude for our countrymen. To honor and showcase this, in the year of 2017, on occasion of Independence Day, our Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji launched the first online platform to showcase India's rich martial history and the indomitable spirit of our brave soldiers. As part of this Azadi Mahotsav, motivational and felicitating events are being conducted in 75 cities all over the country for a period of 8 days, with the events being webcasted live on the Gallantry Awards portal of Government of India. Felicitation of the Gallantry Award winners on such occasion by the Government of India not only honors the selfless sacrifice of our brave hearts, but also enthuses young and children alike with a sense of patriotism and motivating them to join this prestigious organization, the Indian Air Force. Today, sir, it is our privilege to be a part of the celebration where we get to meet, interact, and honor our brave hearts, whose lives shall serve as a guiding light for generations of soldiers to come. We shall begin the events with lighting of candles to pay tribute to our freedom fighters, martyrs, and war veterans, which shall be followed by 2 minutes of silence. This will be followed by a speech on the sacrifice and valor of freedom fighters by Flying Officer Madhusudan Bansal and Flying Officer Pratyasha Shukla. We shall then screen visuals on the 1965 and 1971 war, which will be followed by the highlight of the event, which is the felicitation ceremony. I now request the guests, the dignitaries, and their families to commence the event by lighting the candles to pay tribute to our freedom fighters and martyrs. So.
In that heaven of freedom, my father, let my country awake, unquote. Jai Hind, ladies and gentlemen. On this very day, the 9th of August, 96 years ago, the number 8 down train traveling from Shahjahanpur to Lucknow, was approaching the town of Kakori when Rajendra Lahiri pulled the emergency chain to stop the train and subsequently overpowered the guard. The events that followed led to the arrest of Ram Prasad Bismil along with 18 others. What unites Shahid Bhagat Singh, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, Mahatma Gandhi, and Ram Prasad Bismil? What did they live for? What made them spend endless nights in jail or stand boldly in the face of death? It was their idea of freedom. They believed that freedom is never dear at any price. It is the breath of life. Fighting for freedom was never a choice for them, nor is it for any one of us sitting in this auditorium. Dear Air Warriors, beneath your blue uniforms, I see fierce patriots, lion hearts on whose shoulders rest the skies of our nation and on whose heads is the blessing of 1.3 billion Indians. The heroes of our country are not just our men and women in uniform. They go back more than 200 years, during which time they gave compelling speeches, sat on hunger strikes, planned robberies, ran nationalist newspapers, and mobilized the entire country in 1857. Our flag does not fly because the wind moves it. It flies the last breath of each soldier who died protecting it. Even before we wore khaki uniforms in the Indian Army and Air Force, the sons of our country fought battles as part of the Azad Hind Fauj. There were many others who never wore uniforms, never had a rank against their name, never used a weapon their entire life, but they were soldiers in every sense. The families of those who lost their sons, brothers, and fathers, men who died fighting for independence. It's the same families, the same valorous hearts who sent their loved ones to stand guard in the line of control, burn the ports of our enemy nation, and fly MiG-21s into enemy lines. It's the same valor that flows in the blood of officers and men of the Indian Armed Forces, and their stories continue to inspire our generation. It is during times of crisis and war that a few dauntless knights will go on to do things that we'll talk about for the next 100 years.
It was the year 1965. The country was overcoming from its sufferings. The first Prime Minister, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, had died, and Lal Bahadur Shastri took over. The economy of the country was still recovering from the Sino-Indian War of 1962. On one side, Pakistan was acquiring an edge over India in armor, artillery, and air power. Added to her overconfidence was its deepening ties with USA and China. On 25th August 1965, Pakistani soldiers started their invasion on Kashmir, Operation Gibraltar. Till date, there is no clarity on how many Pakistani soldiers were part of this operation. The reported numbers vary from 5,000 to 30,000. The purpose of Operation Gibraltar was to start an uprising within Kashmir and provide its people the so-called freedom. The operation was a complete failure since the presence of Pakistanis was reported to Indian authorities by the locals themselves. The Indian army retaliated and captured Haji Pir Pass in Pakistan-occupied Kashmir. On 1st September 1965, Pakistan put into action its Operation Grand Slam, aimed at capturing the town of Akhnur in Jammu. Although the Indian army was taken by surprise by this move, Pakistan was unable to capture Akhnur. India retaliated by attacking further south of the valley and successfully drove away the infiltrators from Khartoum. The international border, Radcliffe Line, was crossed by India on 6th of September 1965, which marked the official beginning of the war, where Indian Army captured Lahore. This war, unlike the previous conflict in 1947 and 48, was fought on many fronts, including Rajasthan. It also showed the first aerial combat between India and Pakistan. The war ended on 23rd September 1965 after the United Nations Security Council called for an unconditional ceasefire
from both India and Pakistan the previous day. Both USA and USSR intervened diplomatically to prevent further escalation of the conflict. The war was a victory for India, even though Pakistan claims otherwise. In 1971, Pakistani Army's act of barbaric genocide on innocent Bengali population, specifically minority Hindus in East Pakistan, was on verge, which led to a historical war, Bangladesh Liberation War, and marked 16 December 1971, a significant day for India and its neighbor, which gave birth to a new nation named Bangladesh. The then Prime Minister, Srimati Indira Gandhi, decided to act against the Pakistan. Army Chief General Sam Manekshaw led the offensive action, and Pakistan Lieutenant General A.A.K. Niazi had to sign the Instrument of Surrender on 16 December 1971 in Dhaka. The war started when Pakistan launched airstrikes on 11 Indian air bases, and perhaps the first war where India's all three forces fought in unison. The Indian Armed Forces brought Pakistan to its knees when they took 93,000 prisoners and gave 75 million people of Bangladesh their independence. This war was one of the shortest wars in the history, which lasted for only 13 days. This is also known for Indian Army's courageous actions in Battle of Longewala, Indian Navy's daring assault, Operation Trident, and Indian Air Force's full-scale invasion by lethal strikes on Pakistan. Now, we are going to witness the visuals of these two historical wars, which is going to revitalize us with the same emotions of sacrifice, valor, courage, and pride, residing deep in every Indian's heart.
सर हमने सर पैसिफिक एक हिंदू बार बार कश्मीर की दूसरी लड़ाई के नाम से दुनिया को आजादी के 2 महीने बाद पाकिस्तानी फौज की देखरेख में तैयार किए गए तकरीबन 10,000 छापा मालूम है, जिनमें कबायद के अलावा भारी मात्रा में पाकिस्तानी फौज के सेवानिवृत्त के कर्मी शामिल थे। कश्मीर पर हमला कर दिया। बारामूला और दूरी पर कब्जा करने के बाद श्रीनगर पर कब्जा करने के लिए आगे बढ़ गए और बाद में पुंछ और लेह को हटाने की कोशिश की। उस नाजुक घड़ी में भी इन्हें अरेबिया और कश्मीर को बचाने का श्रेय हम टीमों से मिला। तकरीबन 1.5 साल की लड़ाई के बाद 1 जनवरी 1949 को युद्ध विराम लागू हुआ। समय से विश्वव्यापी भारत से विश्व को भारत सर्वव्यापी Sun sails to play one out of the ये लोग का योगदान है जिन्होंने इस्लामी में एक मिसाल हिम्मत साहस और शौर्य का परिचय दिया इन्हें भी एक जगह से सम्मानित किया गया The Union Prime Minister orders to be removed from the organization of troops and goes to the first state university involving university in the city of Lyons. The Union has responded to massive gathering of the Earth status. By the way, the last, I don't know if I'm going to stop at 7. I'm going to the blue, Sabota, Sabota, the Salvador, the people within the school. So it means I got a lot of trouble with that. Quickly, the runways in the rest of the theater. Police, the audience, the audience, the down, goes down, and put it around. Expect to be climbing for clear sword ways. See what aircraft from islands without attacked many coastal towns and vessels with Pakistani ships and took down their bombs of our powers and looked at and over. The international responded to the Pakistanis, both in the east and to the west. During the middle time to recuperate foreign handling, they claimed to be grounding the Pakistani forces in both fields.
After revisiting our glorious martial history, may I now request Air Commodore B.G. Philip, Commandant Air Force Technical College, to kindly come up on this stage and felicitate Gallantry Award winners. Sir. During the operations against Pakistan in December 1971, Flying Officer K.C. Kuruvilla served with the Fighter Bomber Squadron in the Western Sector. On the 4th December 1971, he carried out a strike mission over Chandere airfield and successfully attacked enemy aircraft on ground and airfield installations. On 5th September 1971, he flew another strike mission over Chishtiya Mandi, scored a direct hit on the engine of a train and inflicted heavy damages to the train, despite intensive anti-aircraft fire. Again, on 6 December 1971, he undertook another strike mission over Dera Baba Nanak area and attacked enemy tank concentration. During this attack, while making a second pass over the target, his aircraft was hit by the enemy anti-aircraft fire and crashed. Flying Officer K.C. Kuruvilla displayed bravery and devotion to duty of the highest order, for which he was awarded Veer Chakra. On 5th December 1971, Flying Officer Jai Singh Kehlawat carried out a strike in the Kathua sector and destroyed a bridge. On 7th December, while on a close support mission, he destroyed a number of enemy tanks. During one of his missions, his aircraft was hit by enemy ground fire, but he brought it back safely. On 9th December 1971, he was number 2 in a two-aircraft formation. Then it was attacked by 6 enemy Mirages. He kept a good look around and gave full cover and support to his leader. Even though 12 air-to-air missiles were fired at them by the enemy aircraft, the formation safely returned to base. On 10 December, while on a close air support mission in the Cham sector, he attacked enemy positions and caused heavy damage. Throughout, Flying Officer Gelawar displayed bravery, professional skill, and devotion to duty of the highest order, for which he was awarded Veer Chakra.
Wing Commander A. Raghunath, Veer Chakra. During the operations against Pakistan in December 1971, Flight Lieutenant A. Raghunath was serving with the Bomber Squadron. He volunteered for every sortie and mission. Because of his keenness and ability, he was assigned a special task which he completed successfully despite anti-aircraft fire and air defense. Throughout, Flight Lieutenant Raghunath displayed courage, professional skill, and devotion to duty of the highest order, for which he was awarded Veer Chakra. Wing Commander M.R. Shiraji, Shaurya Chakra, Vayu Sena Medal. On 31st January 1967, the fuel in an aircraft caught fire during servicing operation. The airmen engaged in servicing raised alarm and the firefighting operations were immediately commenced. Flight Lieutenant Shirazi joined the group of men trying to extinguish the fire and took a leading part. He climbed on the main plane of the burning aircraft at great risk and directed the nozzle of the firefighting hose into the plenum chamber. The timely action prevented the fire, which further otherwise would have engulfed and destroyed the whole aircraft. Flight Lieutenant Mohammad Raza Shirazi displayed exceptional courage and leadership, for which he was awarded Shaurya Chakra. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Flying Officer Pratyasha and Madhusudan. Ladies and gentlemen, we now move to the most exciting part of the evening, where we will get to interact with our Gallantry Award winners. So, we hosted a lot of questions from the audience, but since the paucity of time does not allow us to field all of those questions, so I would be directing one question each to all of you, sir. And to begin with, sir, I will direct the first question to you, sir. The most popular question, or the most recurring question, sir, that most of us wanted to know from you was that as you look back at your glorious years of service, which is that one experience that has stood out as your most adventurous operation?
Say that again.
So as you look back on your life, on this glorious life that you've lived, which is like one operation or one experience that has stood out as the most adventurous one or the most challenging one?
Like on the film, like on the line, their warriors, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, every day you're home. The joy it is to be back to an airport station and see all their warriors in blue. This becomes bad airport station. Thank you for inviting us. Thanks for everybody. It's been a pleasure to come here, get our experiences. Well, question that what was asked me. Several incidents in my career, but I think I would define myself with the one in the war, which is a mission that was undertaken by me on the 6th to strike the Yarababa Bridge, also combined with the mission on the previous day, System Monday, where it struck a tank train, not just a train for tank. You know, I hit the first two, that's the engine and the first set of tanks on the left. The next day, they bringing down the Yarababa Bridge was one aspect of it, but on the way back, we still had loaded and the forwarded control of the army all out to my CEO, back track one, we go. He said, we see very unusual movements. The company of ranking all overnight. So you kindly take a look at it. So he called me up and we asked me to hang on to the scale. We turned right, went back into Pakistan, and lo and behold, we had actually got the strategic reserves, which are actually moving from the same area, the Output area, Sistemali area, to support the action that Pakistan was taking in northern region, that's near the Amritsar and the northern sector of the world. So I have done the weekly picked up targets. Mine realized at that time, after a low level pass, I realized that it's a heavy machine gun. And if any of you are down, you could probably read about it. There was a colonel who was the brigade commander at that time, and he saw the whole thing, the eyewitness. In fact, he on his channel had recommended me for the because I brought down a heavy machine gun after already dealing with the Yarababa Bridge. And this heavy machine gun, it took me 3 attacks. It was the fast to pick it up. And then I did 2 attacks. Nobody actually does so many attacks over a movie Motivational. And we started, I started that gun, and very interesting anecdote. Took this officer 49 years to search for me. After 49 years, found me very interesting name. They are very interesting call from him about what he cited. So after the second attack, I got hit. And I injected, landed up in Pakistan. I was a prisoner of war for 1 year, incarcerated in 2 jails, one in Rawalpindi and the other in Nagpur. And the whole joke was a lot of excitement. So it's exactly to our improvement, but there's so much of it. But let me tell you the interesting thing. Our morale was very high, the training standards were exceptionally high. So it wasn't easy for the Pakistanis to keep 12 pilots, down. And 3rd of July, very quickly, about the 3rd of July, the prisoner of war camp commandant, the commander Motivational, walked in. We were all in solitary confinement for about 20-25 days. We complained about it to the international. I don't remember international community of the Red Cross, the background in India, we had that application, which I never thought we would have. So these kind of efforts on our part actually ensured that we were able to come out toward the end of the war and meet each other, and we were confined in a particular room, not solitary. And in that room, we planned an escape, and that escape took place. We got a tunnel through the wall. 3 officers got out because we decided by the senior most but only bachelors were affected. I had just got married at 94, so I was out of it. But I had a specific role in the street. In that wall, I had to come up and say, midnight, out in the open, so that the bar that was guarding the particular room, where the escape was taking place, that guard, he would walk 40 yards, say, from this room to my cell, take me out, take me to the toilet, there was only a single toilet, just 40 yards in that direction. Then he would draw the key, come here, pick me up, open me up, take me to the toilet, drop me back, go back and deliver the keys. All this took about 5 to 7 minutes, and I had the initiative to enhance that time. So after rehearsing this escape about 4 times, I gave them adequate time to get out. The point here is that if during the breakout, if there was any noise, or if there was any detection of the people going out, I would have shot out of the open because there was no other, there's no, the car was panicked and there's no way to explain what am I doing. Other people are restricted. So people are ended very badly, but none of that happened. They escaped, they got caught again in Rawalpindi, the shower, brought back. Of course, all hell broke loose for us. We were stripped, everything was taken off, and we were transferred to a next one. If I type this out.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, so if there are any other questions that you'd like to know, I'd like to ask, I'd be very glad to answer them. Specifically, there was so much to say. In line for maximum security prison, the end very interesting. And there was nothing much we could do. This prison is so huge. It's a prison in which the strategic services both practice there, break in, break out. We were right in the center of the maze. So this is about a kilometer long and straight. Then there are little mazes that we were right in the center. So one fine day on the camp on that, we were asked about it. We would like to build a helipad. Now, nobody knew what that was for. It was just a straight question. So we go and I was a junior master, the prime master, and all me and he said, I would like you to take the control from the our Indian Army was in a separate enclosure, 600 jawans, 3 officers. So totally we were about 600 people. Came back to India eventually. So I took a party, went to a particular enclosure that we were going to do, and eventually I felt this getting back. Then around 2nd December 1972, we were all dressed up and put into an enclosure. And there we were seated, 13 officers, 10 plus 3 army. 5 minutes later, a helicopter landed. Another 5 minutes later, an iron door opened. In walked this gentleman in pinstripe suit. A chair was put in front of like this distance. Where the TV is. He didn't sit down, he came for the van there. It was Prime Minister's role to came in, he just spoke very gracefully. He basically said, gentlemen, I want you to go on. Tell India that we want peace with you. Please return our 93,000 prisoners of war. That's the number of prisoners we have. And we were just 600 and so a couple of days later, the whole procedure started. But it wasn't easy because the students of Lahore wanted their prisoners back, and so we were all misprisoned. Eventually, we were taken out, on this line with a lot of army, across the border, 3rd of December, 1972. Going back, also had lots of the things that get short. That was probably one of the most interesting episodes of my life. What was only happened. If there's any, especially for the young engineers, I would like to that I've also rejected 3 times. And perhaps the only person allowed to do like fighters, frontline fighters, like not frontline fighters. I found the first 27 MM spotting, which was built by HL, when I was in Jaguar, in Big 23. So, was the every come from the KFA, when I do the both the winner as well as the HDP, everything. I think that kind of record, we are trying to find out the one over. I don't think anybody else has. But that's all I have to say. And then my
So let me just say that you were very right in the beginning when you said, okay, how do I choose one? Because of course, for a life lived that gloriously and that courageously, and with so many thrilling experiences, it is, I think we are very lucky to bear witness to your stories, sir. To come and meet you, to be able to see you and meet you and hear these stories in person. I think all of us are very lucky, sir. And so thank you for gracing us with your presence, sir. I would also like to say that, like Sir mentioned, very less time for him to cover all the stories of his life. Sir uh, also has a podcast wherein he talks in detail about his experiences. And of course, if you Google his name, then you will come to know that there's a movie which is being made on his life, which would be out soon in theaters. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
also very interested. The podcast is called On No Strike. I think there are 3 episodes which needs to be done. Very interesting. I'm still getting a lot of calls, people saying that it's very interesting, especially from Gamma officers. There's a movie also coming up. I don't think I'm going to push that. All the good and all the inspired. I don't want to be controversies. But yes, it will be the way. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. I would direct my next question to Wing Commander Gilavan, sir. Sir, most of us here, we wanted to know if there was one message or life advice that you would give to these young officers sitting here. What would that be, sir?
It's the best service and you can be pushed to win. As well. Because sorry. Yes. Yes. As part of being on the phone. So is the meeting. You can million sermon.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. My next question is directed at Wing Commander Ratan, sir. So most of us here wanted to know that what would constitute your most fond memory of serving in this organization?
Thank you very much. Trainings. Leadership trainings, overnights. Basically good, and then my practice. If I teach you before I answer the question, privilege to be here today is not mine. It actually belongs to the people who are part of my life, corner, with every activity, but who are not present in this world today. Not because of people, you want to come out, I will check out the hero in every country that he operated, inside of outside the country. Here in Congo, there are like Brian Wilson, like Margaret Mehta, like Margaret Sassoon, many other dear friends of mine who are part of historical operations. And this I'm not seeing them back. But then this honor is due to information. Question I have is, what has been the most interesting part of my life? Obviously, I was pulled to cameras. Of course, I was known to ASTP. Maybe one day I get a bird to the left of flying all the aircraft that are ASTP. The second seat, maybe earlier when I was taking a chair, I would throw that. Instrumentation, helicopters, and we take a very gift meetings. But I still feel the technical progress Indian Air Force has is par excellence. And have similarly enjoyed their company as well as the benefits that they contributed to my work in two of my major missions. 1971, on third night, the bomb which had never been experimented or tried anywhere else. Never by government training into the Pune was allotted to us for carrying out a special mission, white plan mission, to release those bombs at 50 to 100 feet along the runway, both in Sangola, Chennai, and Moli. So the three aircraft who operated, and what is the crew who flew those aircraft? The credit must go to the technical people. I still remember the commander who headed the bomb loading team, who had to prepare the special bomb which had never been tried before, nowhere in the world. So they must not have mentioned that others wanted to replicate that, but somebody did not take it. They prepared these bombs, they want to prepare within 6 hours of their dropping at the bathroom. And Ambala incident, they did one is for one, they were that's what they are from. We don't have to get that much. So that was one senior contribution which I definitely appreciate every time. The second one was I was awarded a class. I know that children state or groups were certified groups that had to be extricated from there. So every time for gain was the chosen for carpet modeling very groups. So gain bills are city blast and the number of that is city blast. So they wanted somebody else to go and draw the fighters away from them. So myself and the thank you all, was invited to do that radar painting around sacrifice. So all of this up in the radar screen for some time, I went around and gone in different directions. That's what they can then for 20 minutes for the time that they enclosed for the complete their mission. So this again, if we remember what did Kashmir see of DNR, they were very unique radar warning system. It was installed And the navigator, I was the fourth person right in front of me. And then whenever we got those signals from that, we used to go further down. As it is flying around 500 to 700 feet in the night time, we can imagine we will go further down and create something. Then finishing that, we will see Montgomery and Alabama, which was a junction through which all the armament of moving up north towards Lahore. So that was the target of the big bomb. Finishing of bomb, because then the surprising thing that the railway line was lit up with neon lights, but as the aircraft approached the 3,000 feet with 4,000 bombs, the lights went off, but we still going and bomb them. Then onwards we moved on to Bishopin and railway canal, which runs towards from the north to the north of that. This particular mission, I supported our troops because it's a good mission, but for skill and ability of NPLR to stick on to whatever instructions I was giving at this kind of material too, by seeing those figures coming on those experimental radar pictures. It was a fantastic performance by him and my thanks for him. These are the two missions apart from other missions which I carried out. Compared to others, these are the most memorable missions. But they would have possible for technical progress and the technical support given by getting technical people there and the leadership of the common hero to now, I always take off my hands to these people. And having been with the ASP for about 7 to 8 long years, a very close association with those people who are really involved in experimentation with them. So these two are standing over the years of time.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for sharing those memorable experiences with us, sir. And my last question for today, sir, is directed to Wing Commander Shirazi. Sir, when you look at this organization now, sir, what are the differences that you see now when compared to when you have joined as a pilot officer?
Last change from that day to now is probably that day in 1960. Enroll. We would like to enroll fighter pilots in the Indian Air Force because the Chinese are going to attack us and are going to spread it further. So I was there a young to do just what was done. Appeared for the first PUC. I put my hand up and I promptly applied to the UPSC for the examination. He won 10, sorry, 61 minutes. I got a reply, you will be selected, proceed to our medical Delhi, and Delhi shall carry on to Target, get your biodata checked and your desire checked up, and will give you an appointment as a pilot officer. Now I became a pilot officer and my next day on posting to Assam, which was another than a war zone. I opted for Karwa. Most of my closemates to Bhakta to me opted for Pune and elsewhere. They said, hey, just go there if you don't want to go there. This young man said, I will go there. I want Karwa. Promptly I got of Karwa. I reached there. Group Captain Aquino was there. 44 was there, commander. 5 squadron. And another squadron was there, commanding scandalous one. I went for orders. Promptly I was told, okay, can you fly with helicopters? I said, okay, I'll give it a try. So I flew the helicopters for about 6 months. Shifted back to Vampire. We moved out to Mohan Valley, which is close to Chabwa. I flew there. Then got posted out because I was being considered to be sent across to United States of America for advanced gunnery training and advanced gunnery school. There's a pilot officer who is highly offers me on various aspects. We checked it out. But to headquarters, I was finally told, sorry, youngster, we'll take you in the next batch because your postmate Kambe has been selected in your case to go in this batch because he'll be the leader of the batch. Because he did very well in his studies and got good marks in the AE. So I promptly returned, filling my total and done, waiting for my call. Then I got a call when I was posted out to Jorhat. From Jorhat, got posted out to Hashimara. When I was squadron, from Hashimara, I got posted out to back to 24, which I moved from Shalwa to Kalaikunda. In Kalaikunda, I got a call, please proceed. And their firing officer, Firali, just after the old border, he needed to go to the United States of America to fight for the train on the advanced gunnery course. I reached the United States of America. I found amongst us students, there were Pakistanis, there were Britishers, there were also seasoned pilots who had shown their strategic air arm aircraft, come for retraining on arms. Had some good time with that. Two, the saber got to fly the saber as a pilot officer. Promised me take off, which we've never done. You will this time. Saber aircraft, then the C-33 aircraft, we trained on. And I mean, to put it short, first in English school, English classes, I said, okay, that is English on my life. American scam. Yes, yes, we know, okay, you skip the English classes. You only concentrate on the quite well, which I did. I finished my training there, and I was very proud to be told one fine day by the government of that school, you will be declared as a top gun holder. You got a top gun award. Yes, you got it. Of course, we're very good in rocketry, in bombing, stick bombing, bullet firing, rocket firing, as compared to all others who are in the battlefield. So therefore, you on this and you make everything. Promptly, I was posted out from there. With paid, with my top gun in my hand, in the taxi, got out of the aircraft, coming back to Bombay, and reaching Bombay. I just thought that I left to go in the taxi in New York. Oh, I was sad, so sad. But the only thing I have to show that I did something anyway. I went to the American embassy in Delhi, having returned. We were in the diplomatic cover at that time. No one could arrest us in Mexico or anywhere else, except our own Indian airport police. When I did overnight, gave them my story. Within 3 days, another chocolate trophy was thrown across and given to me in Delhi. From there, I got promoted because I was very fond of photography. That is my introduced to 31 FR spot. Just there, FR spot, photo answer. I'm very happy. There a pilot also come, pilot also has come the next rank of flying officer, flight lieutenant, which is posted out. Anyway, I went. I flew with Jimmy Goodman, who got the Mahavir chapter for the Scotland's command, and assistance, and we undertook copies at this so-called joke of Jammu and Kashmir. If the joke that way with military intervention, we will not have access. So, promptly announcing urgency, they were called to the only call to my wing commander, Goodman. Attack. He didn't get respond. He said, yes, very information with us. We attacked this thing and we made those Pakistani dig. That was our victory. In the meantime, the army positioned itself and defeated them and Bangladesh victory. There goes the story of Wing Commander Piranti so far. Then still a flying obstacle. 5 years have gone. They are not considering for a rank after nothing on. What happened next was very money problem. I looked for the next, this year, I got posted to a NAT squadron in Ambala. Newly inducted NAT from HAL, I first come to Ambala. And Wing Commander Michael was commanding that squadron. He somehow had picked me out of this. I went in with Mr. Squadron and got him posted there. Well, we almost passed by, and we were sitting almost by the time meeting Karna came and took over the station commander, and we were discussing how to plan shooting of blue bulls in the hills. We were very good at preparing team joined. So we were having a conference. And in the middle of the conference, around 4 o'clock, we heard a loud thud and a bang. We looked at each other, and we said, let's go see what's happening. And when we came out there on the Dhamma from Ambala, there was an express aircraft parked side by side. The middle aircraft had caught fire. And the fire with extinguishing people with their nozzle, with their firefighting fluid, were bombarding the aircraft from the top and it's going down. The fire was under the belly. So I told myself, which was very keen on technicalities, being in the one, the control got many to say, what is the time, what is this, that, what is this, that, what is this, that. I said, they're doing the wrong thing, I told myself. I still have my shooting board, my pickup board. I ran across, jumped onto the aircraft, fighting water, petrol tank, jumped onto the main plane and asked, hey, hang on. Crawled over the fuel gun. The cockpit was open. Walked inside, put off the battery switch was on. Where actually things went wrong was, someone switched on the battery visor, fuel pump were weak. Service is at the bottom. That's all I know. So I put off that switch, came back and called the guy, technician and engineer. I said, open this dwelling paper. He said, just open it. He opened it and I put the fire nozzle inside. And of the parachute into the For that, I was considered an act beyond the call of my duty, beyond my training. Why did this young officer do this? We must recommend him for the damage. Now, mind you, at those times when I was elected with the body, I never came to know about it. So I was not told anything about it. Well done, my boy. I was the advocate of that squadron also. Michael and Danny Satu, Marshal Satu. One day we flew out to Delhi, taken the aircraft formation NAS to fly the Bhakti Day fly park. And in between our call came, sir, Commander, Ambala wants to talk to you. What did I do wrong? He is very strict man. I told him, go talk to him, he wants to talk to him. I told me about it because I wrote up the citation. They forwarded the citation, unknown to me. Then when I went, yes, sir, why was this Firanti speaking? He said, young man, we personally thank your. You've been awarded the Shaurit Chakra for your act on that day on Ambala, for your gallantry and which no one has ever forecasted or no one ever thought of doing, which you did, and still not only that the aircraft also passed the study. So very cheering, I will be able my commander into Saklo. It is good. That was a commission and he was gone. Finished and went back to home. That was my story chapter about that we will be. Now we come to the why of the happening. I went with many severe aircraft accidents where my backbone number 6 was injured, last 4 months together, taking a toy spoon or plastic spoon and cracking my back because I couldn't see it. And wife were directly part of a state legal spoon. And then suddenly a call came across. You go out, you will enforce it to attack. So I wonder what the attacks coming in now. When I went up to Assam, I went to the official commander after a few months called me and said, you, I've got 20 year rank by now. You please go over to Barrack 4, take over the missile squadron, freshly inducted missile squadron. I said, I know nothing about the missiles. I have not been thought about the missiles. You're making me a commanding officer of that. I was 40 a year. I did it. Because I, in my school, was always taught, never say I until you die. Never refuse until you try. Or you not, or your parents that it cannot take you to any fear or save you. That brought me, I want to know, and I told, civil to important is the given to you. Now you move from stage 4 to the rank 4. The squadron is assembling there. Now the squad, you put aircraft, now few missiles, launchers, the transport aircraft, no. Transport, logging and transport, the government people have sufficient organization because the government has fully sanctioned the complete portion of the clause A or B or C, whatever it was. I got all the people together because I've done a missile course with direct earlier, so they're confident to take over. I think all that and in a few months' time, DNC called me up from Eastern Air Command and said, how are you positioned? I said, sir, I'm not getting this material, I'm not getting that material, I'm not getting this to maintain the aircraft, missile squadron, launchers. Do something for me because I cannot service it. We promptly flew down there, had everything given. Someone said, there's no order for this, government has it, taxes, government has it, it will give it. Then I got orders to move as per flight combat flight, as per Bravo, and the technical flight. Bravo and technical was to stay back. I was to go with the combat flight as per by train to Gujarat. I was very happy. Here I come, Gujarat. Here are my men. A handful of technicians, about 45 of them. A few transport vehicles and missile launchers carrying 4 missiles each. I asked for the training experience to make a decision. They said, no, not really, just not will give to later. I said, no, as for the unit, I want to move together with all this. If you don't give me, I'm not moving an inch from here. They should come on the group captain, next time they take me. I said, don't. You'll get everybody to come in. I said, okay, I won't get out. The commander who's taking the salvo can't go. A couple of limbs here, there, people broken here. I can't go. I want this whole thing. So we can't get these wagons. I said, no, you will get that. Apparently, they got that. I got that with the booking vehicle also. So they did our own booking and we moved the truck to Gujarat. That's it, you got to DJ here. We want to employ you between over and carry over. Where all the huge oil tankers are there, gas tankers are there, all being imported, all oil coming from abroad, by ships in the high height of the Caribbean, go right, etc. And we process and then back as petroleum products to Punjab, to central India, and to eastern India. A very important place, very important place. It says we can about carrying over, go take a helicopter and see where you would like to locate it. I took a helicopter from Bhuj, at that time, looked at Patel was commanding Bhuj. Many courses junior to me. But I get my rank because of various other reasons. Okay, I told the place two large trees, not calculated. Kacha road leading to that place and beyond. From the main road, it was very good, highly asphalted, beautifully asphalted, without a bump people travel on it. I said I want to locate here. Struggling. Various white leaves. I said, we have them all removed. I got the unit, declared there, got across all the equipment, and went away for 2 days. Where did I go? I said, I want to see none other than the chief minister of Gujarat. What? You going to the sporting the PhD? Yes. Because somewhere down the line, he had helped the defense forces along. Then he heard me, picked up the telephone, talked to the deputy commissioner there, talked to various people there. Then I started getting a swarm of helpers. What do you want, sir? What do you want? I want the helipad here. I want this road done. I want so many tents to be put up here. I want the tents to clear this area, clear this area, clear that area. I don't have electricity. I said, let's go to the harbor. They got generators. They're willing to spare those. I don't know that road. Empty of more than. So I said, I want those generators. We rented out there, electric car generators, and the mechanical excavators to come in to relay my cable from my launches to the main headquarters there, the launching platform. So that area confusion high enough because when I was electrician command, somehow the CNC there didn't give me this drugs and then he just take the short one and go away. I want the first one. I want to take the far and longer to the closer one so I can change my design the car. No, you will not get it if you for the station come out of there. AOCC to go down there and take from and that. Anyway, I accepted it and we got this huge mask. Technical officer that have not been trained to do this. Another technical officer that have not been trained to do this. I said, I take the responsibility. I called the Jason Bill, that level don't start with. I said, you're going to be through all this early and another early, help me. I get this area. And promptly, within a week's time, the aliens got erected. This is like that. Actually, anchor so that it doesn't fall either way. It goes up in segments, one segment, next segment, one goes up, another one is another one goes up. This segment will manage went up. And what happened? I said, I want my road done. I want a study field. Promptly the DC flew across with a big guy and said, what else do you want? I want this, I want this, I want that. He provided everything. Whereas Pandit sitting went good, giving one property jeep to move around. I said, I can't move around with this jeep. I choose my own vehicles. Beside vehicles. One was stopping, etc. Then while doing the stopping for action and all that, I went to the VP. I said, we have a problem with it. He said, what action do you want? Go and collect it from the store. Go and collect it. All free. No charge. No charge. All free. And I said, I'd like electricity. After about 6 months electric lines were laid where it did not strain our generators only operating all the time. And we're very happy because the DC way back in good promptly sanctioned the area where we recorded the complete war of that happening in Pakistan. What is India doing? What is Pakistan reacting itself? Having done all this, I told my team, medical staff, no doctor. One doctor belongs to the medical department. He said that I will handle everything. So I went to the CE, but I said, whatever comment they are going out, defecating all in the open, going to the magazine, please, etc. Have you heard about DPN? That takes a long time. So when this time like me, I want 5 this time like me this area, so my man and I can use it. We have nothing except open. Promptly that was provided. Whatever I asked for, we got from the distribution time. We paid electricity poles were laid, catering for our road. All our cables were dug in so that the aircraft on top could not face taking the long term. And long term were all barricaded with tree branches and beams, etc. So they can't make out this is the launch pad. Gentlemen and ladies, with due respect, all that I did was place my car with the government of Gujarat by visiting them many times and telling them how badly I was, how in effect, how to stand to get garbage. I want all these silver tanks cannot fire because from the air you can see that my injury. That they did not think. So I get happy. We would pick up now, having set up our system, aircraft taking off in boats from this place we picked, which is between Lower and Kahiri Lower, which is almost 120 kilometers. And I got the men to take pride in managing and tracking an aircraft coming. What is the strength of this bit on this radar? What is the strength of this bit on this radar? We can track it now with the direct position because we will not have a train officer. I don't want to see of. And about 15 technicians and 1 medical staff. So as pleased as I was, patient commander got visited by none other than the CNC Frank Airmaster Day. Now, Airmaster Day, fortunately for me, has known me ever since I was a pilot. He lived in Bangalore, I lived in Bangalore. I served with Community Commander, Flight Commander, Escort Commander, 3 times. So he said, whatever Ramakrishna said, we will do. Why is not doing it? My question is Oberoi was very first time. I said, folks, what's wrong here? You want your rank, I know. I missed my rank, I know. But please help us like this. So they went backwards and gave me all the help required. The war never reached petrol tanks. We should have held into the system because if they destroyed those refinery plants, whole of Northern Command, whole of Central Command, and whole of Western Command would have been denied the fuel that they were generating. In those cases, there were a lot of fans of salt waste, salt was being manufactured there. So definitely for that, was certain day brother, then I asked him, so what did I do? What to do? In the meantime, Monday is good. What are you doing with these vehicles? Why are you doing what was that thing? What was that thing? The service will become a vehicle. Like the service to get your way, they got sugar on that. That was the last posting got posted out and told retirement. I was asked for this, what is your proposal to do? Was at that time he was in good capital commanding. Good. And subsequently, what happened was, time came, and I had a lot of evidence also. Promptly they posted me. Not back to my base where I moved from. They gave me a base in Delhi side. They posted me to. I said, look, I've been on this with this system for so long. I've not yet this, I've got this happening. See, wonders with the blood, if you give me the wild set I'm having for what all I was able to achieve with my limited resources, and now you want to put me to cash. I said, no, please don't. I've already stayed without my family for 1.5 years. My house is still in place for a long time. My wife and children are studying in Bangalore. The children are studying for economics. Don't post me to cash. Don't post me to cash. Post me back to that. Not the CNC order. Revision of my posting orders to Bangalore. I came to the command from where I was at. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm still very, very proud of all that I did. Where I had to stand down, oppose various agencies, keep on time. You have to be passed on to my competence. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for sharing your life stories with us. And may I have a round of applause, a huge round of applause for all our young. Thank you, sir. I now call upon stage Air Commodore Vijay Philip, Commandant, Air Force Technical College, to please address the gathering.
Respected war veterans, Air Commodore Mr. Nair, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it's a great privilege to have amongst us today 4 war veterans, people who actually earned us the distinction to become one of the largest air forces, one of the most powerful air forces today in the world. I must tell you all that for the valor, courage, whatever they have shown in their time, they are still living legends. Many have not been lucky enough to stay alive today, but because of their valor, courage, and all that they have done to protect the integrity of this nation, we are all here sitting happily, independent, and enjoying the fruits what they have laid for this country. We have heard them just very little, very, very little we have heard of them. And we have been lucky to hear that even one of them has been a prisoner of war himself. Most of us know how POWs are treated. Most of us know many of the POWs are not living today. So we are lucky, fortunate to have these veterans with us, and very lucky to have heard them, have shared their experiences. And what they have got, the awards are actually very little. It's not what they should have actually got. They should have got much, much more than what they have received from the country or from the nation. We live in a small town called Jalali, which also has a history from the Second World War. The Second World War, when it happened and towards the end, all the prisoners of war, they were flown in into this small town, Jalali. To my right, we have an aircraft hangar, and to its right was a runway where the aircraft would land, bring in the prisoners of war, and this is the place where this POWs were nursed. And therefore, this entire town has got a history. And we, as a Air Force Technical College, has grown from this very base. As you all know, from 1949, resting on the same soil. We are the ones who created aviation or aeronautics in this country. And today it's a great privilege that as Air Force Technical College, where all the technical officers pass out from, we have this rare honor to celebrate and felicitate the great war veterans of the 1971 war. Ladies and gentlemen, may I request you all to stand up and give it up for the air veterans. Thank you very much, sir, all of you for coming. We would have loved to host the ladies too, but unfortunately some of them are not well. I can understand, sir. Thank you very much for your time. We are most privileged to have you here this evening. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for all the participating, the people who have participated, for all the guests who have come all the way. And I'd like to thank my very own team, the PADO, funded by Prabjot, the two young flying officers for covering the entire ceremony with confidence, and to the entire FTC team for the way we have been able to handle this event. Thank you very much. Jai.
Thank you, sir. I now request the families of our guests of honor to please join us on the stage for a group photograph. I also request Mrs. Mary Phillip, President of our local AFTC, to join the dignitaries on the stage. I also request Air Commodore N.K. Nair, Air Officer Commanding Air Force Station Jalhari, and Mrs. Bindu Nair, President of our local Air Force Station Jalhari, to please join the guests of honor.
आप आयुष नहीं आएगा
Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. I now request everyone, the dignitaries and guests, to please move to Bachelor of the High Peak. Before that, small correction, please. I request everyone to please stand up for the national anthem. Thank you. I will request all the dignitaries and the guests to please move to bachelor.